Hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, happy birthday to my baby, my Aries. It is his birthday. And I made a lot of decisions in my life that haven't been good, but he wasn't one of those. He was among the best decisions I've ever made in my life. So happy birthday to my baby. He is napping right there, as he usually is, always right next to me when I do these storytellings. And so in honor of Aries' birthday, I thought we should go ahead and get a message from the dogs, a message from the pets. We started with the sun card. By the way, before I get too deep into this, usually it's kind of like my tradition, ever since I've had Aries, that on his birthday I would go live and do some free reads for subscribers to just kind of celebrate and party with us. But I've just gotten over being quite sick, and so I'm not gonna try to do that this year because I'm still not 100%. So um, we'll probably have to have some other celebration later on on this channel, okay? But we start out with a message of the sun. So, sun is happiness, sun is joy. We have Leo energy. If anything, the pets remind us to enjoy the sunlight, the simple things in life, also enjoy all the things that bring light and happiness into someone's life. We have the judgment card. Boy, there's a strong encouragement to, um, how would I say this? To embrace the fact that sometimes reconciling, whether that means just forgiving or letting go of hurt but holding on to the lesson, or forgiving something for oneself. Not all things, maybe can be like, oh, no problem. That doesn't bother me anymore that such and such happened. That's not always going to be the case, but in this storyline, it does kind of give us the inkling of forgiving or making peace with something for one's higher self. So we do it for ourselves, even if it's not necessarily for everything else. But there is this message here that says you notice how it's a world full of dogs. Every single person on earth is going to have their regrets. They're going to have their things that they wish they had done differently. And so it's kind of like, hey, we're in good company. Do we always get it right? No, but nobody always gets it right. This also, to me, is saying that it's a good day. And maybe this is like the birthday wish from my Aries. If everybody um, gets a chance, if our characters get a chance, and I say everybody because we have a bunch of characters being shown on this judgment card, gets a chance to just go ahead and do something nice for themselves, making peace with something for themselves. This doesn't mean like, oh, somebody has to go out and give that forgiveness, but for themselves. Now, it could be a time of reconciliation, especially because now we got the Three of Cups. This is starting to look really good. This looks like today could be a day for reconciliation, for, you know, um, letting bygones be bygones. Oh, it's a day for tons of healing with the star here. Tons of healing going on today. That is a and if that's my baby's birthday wish, that's a great birthday wish. I don't know, Aries' wish is probably a little different than that. It's probably to herd some birds. It's probably, he was very active this morning on our morning walk. He was herding everything in sight. Very excited. He's been working really hard, every day, and it's pretty awesome to see him in his finest hour. And then at the end of the night, he gets tired, kind of like a baby does. And right before he wants me to turn off lights, which is, if you watch my other channel, I did a couple of late night videos last night. And Aries has a bedtime in his head, and he wants lights out at a certain time, and he'll make a ruckus to tell me night time for Aries. And he busted in and made a ruckus. I think in might have been a Libra video last night. I can't remember for sure, but it was pretty funny. He was trying to knock down the backdrop, which he has successfully done before, by the way. And then he pops up and gives me this big old ridiculous goofy grin because he knows what he's doing. My point of saying all of that is just to say that urging, like he thought last night we should go that night because it's Aries bedtime. But I feel like this whole storyline says the higher self is urging a character to, move toward happiness, move toward forgiveness or reconciliation, reach out to people that we care about, heal things instead of holding on to hurt. Because, this Eight of Swords is saying that holding back, refusing to allow any kind of healing in, could actually create like stuck energy for the individual. So that's the reason there's this lovely encouragement to like at least get unstuck. And even here we have the raven encouraging, like it's kind of saying we all know what maybe the better route would be for our own, greatest and highest good. And I love the fact that it's just gently urging the character to be proactive in their own life to go toward the happier actions. We have Ace of Wands and we have King of Cups. This could very much be the encouragement for a character to forgive an ex, not to get back with them, but just to forgive the energy so that they don't hold a bitterness, because that will allow a new wonderful King of Cups, a new passion, a new something to show up in our character's life. That may be exactly the direction that our character needs to go, wants to go, is intending to go. This says that it brings about a better life, a better turn of events. Knight of Pentacles. Yes, it's been a slow thought process for a character. They've probably known that they needed to do this for quite a while, but maybe today is the day that it becomes really crystallized that, honestly, hey, I got to let something go so that I can move on. We got the Seven of Wands. It's funny because this border collie is not unhappy about having these supposed blockages. You can see that it's like, oh, I can't wait to do this. I get to, dive to the right, dive to the left, shimmy in between those wands that seemingly are in my way. This is just a fun obstacle course. I feel like if our character is able to take that perspective, I know, easier said than done. It all depends on what a character dealt with that they have to try to make peace with, right? Some things are not very easy to make peace with. Other things are much easier to make peace with. But the bottom line is this character could look at obstacles, and maybe they have slowly been coming to this conclusion. They look at life's obstacles as like this, an obstacle course. I'm going to become more agile. Did I go through something tough? I did. But I'm more agile because of it. And we have the Three of Pentacles. I feel like our character is going to have a much happier, healthier, and productive next relationship, whomever they deal with next. It's going to be so different. It's going to be greater ease, greater collective energy, all because they've learned some really important lessons. Three of Wands, this is all about the upcoming future. And we've got a pathway that leads right to the castle here. And we've got the messenger flying, leading the way. And we've got this pup who is basically holding on to the end of the road here. This is kind of like follow the yellow brick road. Our characters' actions right now are going to push them directly to where they need to be, which is to the big castle. The castle to me represents the 10 of Cups. It represents the happiness. It represents the direction that they need to go. Let me just change decks and let's stick with another animal deck. But tell me about that Judgment card, because that is this is a huge ask of a character, right? For them to make peace with something or forgive something for their own benefit so they can move on into a happier chapter of their life, and for themselves to have to look at obstacles in their life as agility training. That's a big ask for a character, right? That could be very difficult depending on how much hurt and pain a character has gone through. The thing is, with that Judgment card, this says that, okay, our character, especially with that Seven of Swords in the reverse that we just got, our character already knows that this is their ticket to the next best phase of their life. This is, let me put it this way, this is a very specific read for a very specific character who already knows that an unhealed hurt had been holding them back. Thinking about someone who did them wrong has been holding them back, thinking about a situation that hurt them or made them unhappy, whether it was with, a romantic partner or with, just the energies of the world. There's a lot of really difficult things in this world, and it can bring us down and make us feel pretty blue. But they know that thought process has been holding them back, undoubtedly, and that this is not the energy they're supposed to be in. They should be happier. They should be moving toward greater success in life. Queen of Swords. So our lead character, whether they're masculine or feminine, doesn't matter. But our lead character in this story is a Queen of Swords who wields the sword of truth. She can cut any of that negativity out of her life. She can cut like a path through the jungle and be a trailblazer and change things and go a different direction. She has that sort of truth can be used as like I draw the line in the sand that I won't allow certain things to trespass on me again. The sword of truth can be used, like I said, kind of like a machete that can chop a pathway through the jungle, but it also is the sword of truth that says, okay, I know what is true. I know how best to be honest with myself and to listen to my own intuition. The owl is her, because this is somebody who's very, very wise at this point. So we have a really strong message on this, that we have a character who is completely and utterly powerful, and they know it. And they've been honest with themselves. So basically, if I were going to recap this entire thing, all this is saying is we have a character who has known for quite some time that they are in charge of their own life, that they have needed to let something go that used to be a big stumbling block for them. They have needed to embrace the thing that their subconscious has known all along, which is, I have a really great life up ahead for me. And anything that has been holding me back, and specifically this, the need to forgive something, letting that go will open up this doorway to all of this success and happiness. I'm going to go to the universe for just a second and say, universe, what is the best, most helpful way for a character to let go and reconcile with something that was painful? 3 of Cups, 7 of Cups. This could be, okay, I've talked about this as if our Queen of Swords had to let somebody go out of their life. And that might be wrong. It might be that they need to reach out and be open to communicating and giving forgiveness to someone that they actually still want to work things out with. That is one interpretation. But I was asking, what is the most helpful thing for a character to release and then, kind of like be free of that burden and move on to all this healing and all this happiness and this better pathway? At minimum, this says that the universe, or I guess our character, has to stand before the universe and say, let my higher self communicate with their higher self. Let me explain to them, you know what? Even if I didn't fully understand the things that were said and done, in truth, we don't always know the right answer, and nobody is perfect. Nobody is always going to be able to say the right words at the right time. Nobody's always going to be able to know what to do, because we're all new here, right? I mean, we could consider ourselves old souls sometimes, but still, this thing called life is, it's a big classroom. And maybe our lead character, maybe our Queen of Swords, is acknowledging, like, I get confused sometimes too, and maybe you did too. Maybe some things that happened, I'm just going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And this could be a conversation that they're having only in their mindset, their higher self, connecting to that other individual's higher self. This could have been a Queen of Swords dealing with some kind of a king. They could have had some like energetic breakdown or blockage between the two of them. The Queen could have felt hurt. And yet at this point, she is saying, who knows how everything is supposed to go? We're kind of imperfect humans fumbling along, trying to figure stuff out the best we can. So I'm going to give you the grace of saying, maybe you didn't know any better either. I don't always know how it's supposed to go either, but that might be the way that a character can release some of this, is to just recognize that the steps that we take forward in life are steps in a pathway we haven't yet learned how to navigate. So there's the chance for making mistakes is pretty big. And I think that's just a really nice energy for our character to be able to give, I don't know, just some grace to another person for themselves. Again, I want to stress that they're giving grace to another person for their own ability to move forward and not harbor some painful thing. But they've also learned how to put up more clear boundaries as well. To me, though, I gotta say, it kind of looks like this is a reconciliation. But it looks like this reconciliation is because a Queen of Swords is perhaps giving someone another chance. Maybe considering, if this person wants another chance, and actually so do I, then instead of harboring any hard feelings, why don't we wipe the slate clean and say, maybe we both made some mistakes. Let's try again. I'm going to end this storyline here, even though I don't have a direct answer, because I feel 50% this is her letting go of something, moving on in a whole new direction. And 50% of me says, this looks like a reconciliation between her and another person, where there had to be some kind of, reset button in order for there to be a new chance. Again, we didn't see what happened. And I just want to be really clear. These are fictional stories about fictional characters. And I never tell stories about like characters that have been abusive, because I personally have zero tolerance for any kind of abuse. And I do not condone or normalize it. And I do not want there to ever be any question mark about, like, is it a story of a character who's been abusive and now the other person's like, oh, well, I'll just forgive him and take him back. I don't tell stories like that. So I just want to make that point, because we don't know exactly what happened that caused the rift at one point in time. All I will say with definitive power is that if someone intended to harm another person, that is not the person that they're thinking about reconciling with. And I just want to be clear on that, because I have such a strong, even though these are fictional stories, I still have a very strong boundary with absolutely no abuse, absolutely none of my characters can behave that way and then come back into the storyline, only because to me, that's like, I don't talk about criminal activities. So I just wanted to be clear on that. Because I don't want that to be like an application of thought in this storyline. So, all right, I'm going to leave that one there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for being a part of my world, and I will see you guys again. And thank you for everybody who's so kind to my baby. As you all know, Aries pops up oftentimes and makes noises and just causes a ruckus or barks, and he's a part of my world, and that's just how it is. And when my baby pops in, I always kind of delighted to see him. So thank you guys, those of you who are dog lovers, those of you who understand, especially those of you who understand a blue heeler. It's the breed I was raised with. Blue heelers are very, very different than any other breed. They're a work dog, but they're incredibly bonded to one person. Aries and I have actually never been apart since he was born. And so that tells you, like, we're pretty much Velcroed together for life. And honestly, I love it. So thank you guys for being here. Bye.